Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, March 25th. I know we are all getting cooped up in our houses, and some of us don't know what day it is anymore. But today is Wednesday, March 25th. We are almost 2 weeks in to this stay at home. And we're here today to discuss a lot of different topics. Dave will be joining us in a moment or two. Hopefully our special guest will be there as well. And we'll be discussing some legal issues with Mark Dell'Appa. But just to give everyone some information out there, a lot of states are deciding what to do in terms of real estate, whether we are essential or not. Most states are deeming real estate agents non-essential, which means we should not be on the roads. We should not be showing houses in person. In order to do our business, we should be doing it virtually. If your agent is able to, we will, advise them on how to do that. So feel free to reach out to us anytime, and Dave and I are happy to help, walk you through that process. We'll bring Dave in. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. We're working with a little technical difficulty with Mark, and he should. Did you see him backstage, Mark?
You ready to bring him on?
Yeah, let's bring him on. I was trying to help him, and there he is.
There he is. Welcome, Mark.
Hey, Mark. I want to introduce Mark DePisa. Mark DePisa is an attorney in the state of New Jersey in Bergen County, with his office at on the Boulevard in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Mark, there's a lot of things going on. I know the other Mark's got questions and stuff, but I just want to talk to you about what's going on with closings. First of all, let's start there. Let's start with closings. Have you been closing deals? Have things been working? What's going on with that?
So the answer is yes. We have been closing deals, which is terrific. We have certainly had to make adjustments to be in compliance with the governor's directive, which our office, as well as many other offices that we work with, have been doing. So we've had to pivot a little bit to make sure everybody's safe, make sure we're following the guidelines. But in answer to your question, yes, we have been closing and we have been receiving more deals. So that's good news.
Okay. So how have you been closing? The biggest issue that we see, aside from, the logistics of the social distancing stuff, is the notarization of documents of those. I think there's 2 wet signatures required.
It's correct. So notarization of the documents has certainly been an issue. Our state has not yet adjusted to electronic signatures on closing documents. The way that our office has been dealing with it is very simple. We have limited the number of people that need to come to the closing to the absolute minimum. If I'm dealing with a husband and a wife, I ask one of them to do a POA, make sure the bank's okay with it. I would like to keep the closings to as minimal amount of people as possible to spread around amongst our office. So what we've done, and a lot of the title companies have made adjustments as well and have worked with us, and it's been good so far, is I make 2 copies of the title package. I put 1 copy the clients get, another copy the closer gets, 2 separate places in the office. They go through it simultaneously together. The client sign. I witness from 6 feet away or from my back office. When everyone's done, they move away. I come in and I notarize. Something as simple as that has been a way we've been able to adjust and get around the notarization. The other issue is I've had title companies make house calls to clients that want it, where one title representative goes to the house of the buyers, or the sellers rather, and assist with the notarization of the documents from separate parts of the room. So everybody's able to maintain 6 feet away and minimize the amount of people that are actually attending the closing.
All right, so let me ask this question. I heard yesterday that the legislature did sign a document that said we could e-notarize, but it wouldn't take effect for 90 days. Is that true, or is that something I just heard?
So it's brand new. I have not dove into it enough to comment whether or not they're actually going to move forward with it. But even if such legislation was signed, the logistics of it still need to be managed from a fraud perspective. I feel like one of the reasons our state has not adjusted to electronic signatures is because of the fraud issue. And unless you have safeguards in place to be confident enough that there are no fraud issues, I would tell you that I think that some title companies may still have an issue with that. I think it's too new. And I think the technology still has to catch up with the safeguards.
Okay, so I get that. And I understand that makes complete sense. I have no argument there. But why do other states have no problem with it, or do they have the safeguards in place? And if so, why can't New Jersey just copy what they're doing?
It's a great question, Dave. I think those questions are up for the legislature to decide. I think that other states, in terms of logistics, population, there are a lot of things that go into a decision like that. Socioeconomic status, a lot of variables that go into why states do things differently. I mean, there's a parameter of laws that are different from state to state, and all of those variables have to do with that. So I just think New Jersey's not there yet. We're not the only state. There are other states that also are not permitting electronic signatures. I believe we will get there, but maybe a time of crisis isn't the exact time to try to do it. But I believe we're on our way, and we'll probably get there soon.
All right. So talk to me about the thought process behind real estate agents continuing to work, listing homes, selling homes, et cetera. Talk to that for me a little bit.
So listen, it's a very difficult time, and safety is the most important thing right now. I think everybody in our country together is in this together and has to do their part. The governor's directive was clear. There were comments about attorneys telling attorneys that you don't need to close down. However, you need to have employees work from home, which is what our office has done, and we haven't skipped a beat. I am the only one in the office. My partner is working from home. Our staff is working from home, and it has been very smooth. And I think the rest of the country obviously needs to do the same. The great thing about our business and the way that we operate is so much of it is online. So much of it is on, social media. So much of it is on the internet now. And a lot of what the realtors do is online and through phone calls. If clients want to go see homes, I've seen realtors stay in the car while the client goes and sees the home. I think that it is very important for us to maintain social distancing and limit whatever contact we have to a bare minimum. And I think the realtors that I've seen have been very successful. A lot of them have really scaled down their contacts and aren't doing it all. A lot of it is being done remotely and virtual, and with all the apps that you have to show houses. And I mean, that's where I find that our buyers and sellers are starting the process is online anyway. So it seems that the realtors have been able to do a great job of that while maintaining everyone's safety and following the governor's directive.
So, Mark, let me ask you a question. Have you seen the new New Jersey form addendum for coronavirus?
You guys hear me?
Yeah. You hear Mark?
Yeah. Now, Mark, I wasn't hearing him. I might give it Mark. Talk again.
Did you hear that New Jersey State?
Can't hear Mark.
You can't hear Mark. Did you hear about I'll give it to you. Did you hear the new form about the addendum about coronavirus to the New Jersey contract?
I did not. Is that recent, Dave?
Yeah, it was recent. It came out recently from New Jersey Realtors, right, Mark?
Yeah, it came out over the weekend, I believe.
Came out over the weekend, and I don't know the gist of it. I just know it. Mark, you want to? I don't know why there's a little audio issue here.
Yeah, so the form pretty much just says that you can't, if you go into contract now, that you have the opportunity to extend a closing date based on what's going on. It gives you a little more of an out. But I want to know, as an attorney, are you adding anything to the contracts now, addendums or language to protect buyers or sellers during this time?
Did you hear that, Mark, or no?
I did not.
Okay, so are you adding any addendums to new contracts now having to do with the coronavirus? What are you adding to it?
And from my perspective, most of the attorneys that work in our field have been very amenable to discussions regarding our current state of affairs. The addendums that we have put in and worked in are, reasonable extensions when needed. People have been instructed to stay in their homes for non-essential matters. So if you have inspectors that aren't leaving their house, or you have inspectors that are getting backed up, or lenders or title companies, rather, there needs to be safeguards in place to watch over those issues. So I've been successful in dealing with other attorneys and working those reasonable extensions into contracts to ensure that things are still getting done, but with additional time when necessary. Okay. So that's one of the major ways we've adjusted the contracts.
Mark, let's try it again. The other Mark, let's try it again.
Can you hear me now? No.
Mark, right.
It's all on you, Dave.
It's all on me. Okay. All right. So, Mark, talk to me about some of the difficulties you've had to deal with. I mean, aside from virtual, right? What are some of the difficulties you've had to deal with, and you've had to Give me anything you've been working with that's been difficult that you've had to go through.
Maintaining well, not difficulty, but one of the most important things that we've done is maintaining clients' expectations. It's an uncertain time, so the conversation must be had with your clients early on to let them know that we're doing everything we possibly can to get everything done in a timely manner. So are the lenders, so are the title companies. But right now, there may be delays. It's the spring season, which is busy anyway. But with what the title companies are dealing with and the lenders are dealing with in terms of safeguards, it's important for the client to know that, there may be delays that we otherwise wouldn't experience, but we're doing everything we possibly can to get over the hump. The biggest issue is what we've already talked about, wet signatures, especially when you have clients that are extremely concerned about leaving their house, which is understandable. Having a notary visually authorize and witness the signature has been something that has taken some adjustment. But we've been successful at it. The title companies have come to the table and have tried to assist in every way possible. And our office has done everything possible to maintain a safe environment so the clients can feel comfortable to sign documents in front of a notary. But I've also sent documents to clients' homes if there's a notary near them and they feel more comfortable having a notary come to their home. We've sent documents to their house and they've overnighted them back to us as well. So that has been logistically probably the biggest obstacle we've had, but we've been successful.
Have you had conversations with people that are thinking about listing their home or thinking about buying, other clients you've had? Have you had any conversations like that recently?
Many. I mean, look, the rates are low. The Fed is keeping the rate low in an effort to bring our economy back as best we can. The mortgage rates are still low. So there's buyers looking, and they're able to look online without leaving their house, and they're looking for something to do. So I've actually had many clients reach out to me in the past week to ask me about the process. But interestingly enough, clients that are eager to still purchase and move forward, which I think is great for our economy. I think it's great for what's going on. And I'm happy to take those calls and talk to the clients and kind of calm their nerves and let them know that as long as we're all taking the proper safety precautions and listening to the governor's directive, that things can get done.
What and that's with buyers and sellers. What's the trepidation aside from the obvious, right? What's the trepidation with the sellers that you've been talking to as far as, should I put my house on the market? I want to sell. We want to move. What's going on there?
Property sitting on the market. I think that sellers, the conversations that I've had, sellers are concerned that no one's coming out to look at houses. And if I put my property in the market, is it going to sit for months and months? And my response to that is, from what I have seen, buyers are still looking. Mortgage rates are low. People are able to look at your house online. If they want to drive by the house, they could drive by the house. People have been still eager to seek out properties, and that's what I respond. And most of them have been understanding about that, given the situation, and have still been eager working with their realtor to list the house.
I want to give you some information, hopefully some of your clients as well, of any sellers that might be watching or listening or will watch this, is that viewership on all the portals, including MLS's, is sky high. The viewership has increased tremendously. One of the things, the important part is, as an agent, you need to be set up so that you can actually operate in this virtual world that we now live in. Look, it's where it is. There's a lot of companies out there, Mark, that are not ready for this. Even some of the big ones you might think, wow, they're not. No, they're not. We've been set up for this forever. And one of the things that we're doing is we're working directly with sellers to have them take pictures, and we bring them over and look at them and put them together to make sure they look good. And the interesting part about that, Mark, is that people say, well, it's going to sit on the market, like you just said, right? They're concerned about that and time on market. Well, the thing is that if you put your house on the market today and you're worried about it sitting and not being seen and not selling, look, we can always readjust photos as we get out of this. And I'm Mr. Optimistic when it comes to this virus. I know we're not. It's not going to be. Oh, there's the pessimists and the optimists. I'm the optimist side. We're going to be out of this sooner than everybody says. The point is that we can readjust everything at that time if the home hasn't sold first. And correct me if I'm wrong, one of the addendums basically is if we sell it online, there's going to be a condition in there that they need to see the home before of course they sell, and that could be during inspection, it could be during everything else. But we've seen inspections happening with the agent sitting in the car and the sellers sitting in their cars and FaceTiming from the home inspector going through. So while it is a little difficult, we are seeing business. We are seeing it moving probably faster than many would think. You know, there's a group of people that are doing the calls to help out sellers. I just want everybody to know that. What best advice could you give a seller or a buyer first? Let's hit that question. If they're interested in still being in the market today, what would be the best advice to give them, Mark, from your standpoint as an attorney?
So the first place you always start is with the realtor, because the realtors that I've worked with are very on top of their game in terms of getting everything online, doing listings properly, and fielding those questions. And the realtors are really experts on the market. So I always say you start with your realtor, you speak with your realtor first. Any legal questions, they could always direct to our office. But like I said, it's exactly what you're talking about, Dave. It's getting the property online, using the proper technology to give buyers a good understanding of what the property looks like, to induce them to come out to the property, take a drive by, take a look at the property. And there's a lot of amazing things that you can do with this technology now. I mean, I've seen people stage homes with the technology. I mean, I've seen people give ideas about what you can do with certain rooms in the property. I mean, it really is a life of its own. But you're right. The person needs to come out at some point and physically take a look at the property, make sure it works for them. But a lot of the legwork can be done online any of that. You can also reduce the amount of people that are leaving their homes, because if it's a house they're not interested in, they can see online and they move on to the next one.
Right. So as a real estate agent, as a real estate professional, I'm sitting home and I'm saying, what the hell do I do with my business? What advice would you give them? Would you give them to say, you know what, keep doing what you're doing? What would you tell them?
To keep doing what you're doing. I said, if you don't have a good understanding of how to work with the property online and list it, talk to your fellow realtors. And realtors are pretty good about helping each other out with those things. I think that you find the best way that you can to provide the technology to the client, so the client feels comfortable being able to list their house. And like you said, people are sitting home, they're surfing the internet, they're checking out houses, they're browsing. You know, it's a spring market. I'd like to think that people are as optimistic as you and I are, that we are going to get out of this thing quicker than or sooner rather than later. And the spring market or the summer market is going to come booming back. So I think that I would encourage people to continue to look online, to find a house that they're really interested in, to contact their real estate professional, figure out the logistics of the home, and decide whether they actually want to take a look.
Great, man. Thank you so much for your time. I'm very thankful and grateful you had the time to come on. You know, you and I will be in touch if there's anything else, any updates we have. So let's do that. And Mark Stein is back. Mark, let's see let's move forward. And Pisa, thank you very much for joining us today.
Appreciate it very much.
Great. Thank you for coming on, man. And I'll be in touch with you shortly. Thank you. And we'll talk soon. I'll give you a call later, man.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
All right. A lot of good information there.
Yeah, we got a lot of good information. We got, Mark's in the trenches. I mean, he has a great little group of people working with him, and they really know what they're doing, and they're able to move forward on stuff. And I mean, everybody's got people they love, they work with, and Mark's just been just a great source of information for me and stuff over the years. Right. So anyway, what else we got cooking there, Mr. Mark Stein?
I mean, listen, I spent a lot of my day yesterday talking to my agents about the deals they have going on now, some struggles they're having. Listen, buyers are a little spooked right now. So whether, they're ready to close next week, they still are unsure whether they want to close. And so there's a lot of conversations happening of, all right, let's extend the closing date for 30 days and not rush into it right now because everyone's a little crazy. So we're trying to keep deals together. Buyers are a little unsure where the market's going to be. Is it going to be, with all the economic turmoil going on, are we going to end up at same price points in 60 days or 90 days from now, or is the market going to be different? And that's the unknown that everyone is a little nervous about. So, talking through those issues with our clients, with our buyers, with our sellers, I think is important. but don't pressure anyone into closing right now. If they really can't close or they don't want to close, then, let's give them a 30 or 60-day extension, keep them under contract and let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
With the stimulus package that just got approved of $2 trillion, I don't know if anyone realizes what $2 trillion is, but it is like 10% of our GDP in the United States. That's huge.
So I just want to, you talked about something about how the prices are going to react in the next 30, 60, 90 days. Would you suggest that, I don't know if you could do, it's all going to be based on appraisal, right? So how do you appraise a home? This is a little difficulty. How do you really appraise a home with these parameters that we're talking about and what's going on? Any thoughts to that, Mark?
So I know that the appraisers now have not had issues to this point. I think the issue is going to come in 60 days from now when we don't have enough closed sales, possibly, because the banks like 60 or 90 day, from the date of appraisal of actual closed deals to use. I think we can get on another mortgage lender who really may be able to give us shine a little light on that in terms of what are we doing about appraisals. I know they've relaxed some of the appraisal contingencies now for the banks over the last 24 or 48 hours. So
right.
We'll bring on a mortgage broker to talk about that again, to give us some information on that. Tomorrow we have Chris Tarda coming on, a top agent here in Bergen County, to just share with us some thoughts and ideas of what he's doing with his team, DeVoe Group, Homes DeVoe, to talk to us what's going on. How are they handling things? How are they, advising their agents? How are they interacting in the market? And we'll hear from that. And then Friday, what do we have, Dave?
Friday, we have Kelly Menateas from Toronto, Canada, who is she's actually a COO of a big group here in New Jersey, and she does that remotely. And she also is involved in emotional intelligence and emotional education to help people through things just like this. But also, she's nothing to do with psychiatry or psychologist, but she talks about emotional intelligence through business that can help us. I've worked with her. She's been on my broadcast on Fridays, and really a lot of insight into moving forward with your business when you have situations like this or without situations like this. So she's really good, and we got a couple of great people coming up next week as well.
Right. So we have a lot of people reaching out to us. Again, if you're interested in being on, just reach out to one of us. Let us know. We'll schedule a date with you. We'd love to hear from agents across the country, even across the world, people in business, just to hear what you're doing, how you're handling it, your advice on how to keep moving forward, how to level up every day. And I wish everyone the best of luck today. Hope everything goes well, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, two quick things, Mark. If anyone needs any help and they got glitches with working virtually or need some help with that online stuff, reach out to either one of us. We'll be glad to help you. And also, as Mark said, if you want to be on the show, let us know. Or if you have a question or want something from a specific state, please reach out to us and let us know. We'll either get somebody on from that state or we'll get the answer for you.
Right. Absolutely. So listen, everyone, have a great day. Good luck. Stay healthy. Stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you guys.